Welcome back to the Business Live. And European investors are now repositioning to invest in SMEs that are very concerned about clean and safe environment. At the Trade for Sustainable Development T4SG project at the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, a cross-section of Ghana's SME sector was exposed to some regulations in the European market. Charles IT has more in this report.
Many Ghanaian SMEs are losing out on business opportunities from the European market. This is not because their products don't meet the standards, but rather due to failure of these SMEs to adopt environmental safety standards. Responding to the challenge, the International Trade Center IFC has started a rigorous training program for the SMEs in Ghana on how to implement green business standards in their service delivery. Joseph Wozniak is the head of the Trade Sustainable Development, who spoke to Joy Business at the ongoing training session by the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, GEPA.
The idea here is that you can reduce your operational costs, and that obviously improves your overall bottom line and improves your return on investment. And that also is very useful in terms of exports, because more and more buyers, whether they're in the European Union or whether in North America, they are looking for sustainable producers to buy from. And if you can prove that you're reducing your overall environmental footprint, you're reducing your costs, you're more efficient as a producer, as an exporter, that's good news as well.
So what does this mean for Ghana's export margins? Samuel Dentu is Deputy CEO of GEPA.
Some strategies have been recommended for them by these coaches, and today we are meeting to present those strategies to them and possibly match them with some technology providers, as well as some financing companies, banks for that matter, to help them implement those strategies.
The Trade for Sustainable Development programs aims at improving the operation costs of SMEs nationwide. The all-year program is to strengthen SME competitiveness through the implementation of green business practices.
Norwegian oil exploration firm Aker Energy will begin production and further exploration in the deep southwest Tano oil block soon. Aker Energy's production and exploration agreement, which had come for renewal, had delayed because the minority members in parliament had criticized it, insisting Ghana was being shortchanged. Speaking to the media after a meeting with management of Aker Group in Oslo, Norway, President Akufo-Addo assured production can now take off. The president also touted improved trade relationship between Ghana and Norway.
The relations, as I say, that are being developed between our two countries are ones that we want to continue to nurture. A very major investment is about to be made in our economy by an important Norwegian company, Aker, in our petroleum sector, and which is going to have a big impact on the future development of the Ghanaian economy and industry. And it is also going to mean that a Norwegian company like Aker is going to be in a very prominent role in the development of our national economy. So it provides all of these reasons why it's important that visits such as the one I'm undertaking to continue to go forward. And I'm very, very happy about the way in which I've been received by you. I already speak, Madam Speaker, of this thing, and I'm looking forward to the second half of the visit very much indeed. But we're grateful for the intercourse, we're grateful for the assistance, and we believe that opportunities are being created for more and more and more engagement between our two nations. Norwegian companies are present, increasingly present in Accra and in Ghana, and we're hoping that Ghanaian enterprises too will find a way to be able to take advantages of the growth of our economy and also the Norwegian economy. So, Madam Prime Minister, let me say a big thank you for the invitation to come and pay this visit.
Now, some oil marketing firms, also known as OMCs, have indicated a marked reduction in fuel prices may not be realized now because of the stabilization levy imposed on petroleum products. This follows concerns that the various OMCs have deliberately failed to reduce prices despite favorable market conditions. George Wafe has more in this report.
Some of these firms have told Joy Business that the current cost build-up and reduced margins might make it difficult to adjust prices as quickly as possible in line with current developments on the international market. They also argue that the current taxes on the price build-up, or let's say the various taxes on each litre of product sold, have worsened the situation in terms of reducing prices at the pumps. The National Petroleum Authority last year directed all the oil marketing firms to reintroduce the levy on the products, 12 pesos on petrol and 10 pesos on diesel. The oil marketing firms also argue that the continuous imposition of these levies will not make it prudent to reduce prices now. However, some of them have told Joy Business that if the Ghana cedi continues to appreciate and the global prices also drop, maybe they might revise their notes and we should expect some reduction in 2 weeks' time. Some analysts have also questioned the stance of these oil marketing firms, saying it defeats this whole price deregulation policy of the petroleum sector, where players should automatically review their prices based on market conditions.
Now, dredging works on Phase 1 of the Integrated Container and Multi-Purpose Terminal have begun at the Takoradi port. The dredging is a critical activity that will pave way for erecting a 600-meter-long quay wall for berthing of larger containers. When fully completed, the terminal will have an annual container throughput capacity of 1,020,000 equivalent units. Natalia Kwanza has more in this report.
In 2017, the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, GPHA, granted indigenous Ghanaian company Ibistec Limited a concession in the name of its subsidiary, Atlantic Terminal Services Limited, to build, operate and transfer the Takoradi Integrated Container and Multi-Purpose Terminal. It will later be known as the Atlantic Terminal in the port of Takoradi, at the commissioning of the dredger and the dredging work at the port of Takoradi. Chief Executive Officer of Ibistec, Dr. Nanasaki, said the terminal will transform and modernize the port of Takoradi.
The project is actually on track, and I know my contractor will not let me say that it's ahead of schedule. And we are hoping that the project will be completed before the planned commissioning of the project, which is somewhere the third quarter of next year. Yes. Talking about employment is an ongoing issue. The contractor currently has almost 400 people on site, Ghanaian employees on site now, but as the project progresses, that number is going to increase. And as you can see, once the dredging is done, we are going to move to the next level, which is the placing of the blocks in the water.
Director of Takoradi Port, Captain Ebenezer Afezi, explained that the project is going to have an impact on turnaround time of vessels.
So, Takoradi Port has been deemed to be a port only for bulk mineral ore, and container vessels, ship carriers and the rest were not coming here as we expected them to. The reason was that our port had a deepest draft of 10 meters. And these modern days, container vessels come with drafts of 15 meters, 16 and the rest. Now this terminal that we are building now is going to have a depth of 16 meters meaning we can bring in a ship of up to 16 meters.
John Dinwall, the contractor executing the project, is expected to complete work by 2020. In Natalia Kwanza's report for Joy Business.
Let's turn attention now to some developments within the financial sector, and more than 1,000 messages through WhatsApp and emails have been issued to confirm full payment for some customers of collapsed financial institutions. This will be the second batch of payments aside 800 messages that were sent yesterday by the receiver of the microfinance and savings and loans companies. Spokesperson for the receiver, Philomena Kuzu, tells Joy Business some of the messages have been delayed because of the huge numbers involved. Ebenezer Sabote has more in this report.
Almost 2,000 customers are expected to receive their confirmation of full payments from the receiver's office. Spokesperson for the receiver, Philomena Kuzo, confirmed to Joy Business that an account has been created at the Consolidated Bank Ghana for all customers to access their funds.
The message will say, "Dear," and then your name, and it will tell you that the full amount, your full amount, has been paid into an account a CBG account, and then the account number is provided. So that is what you take to CBG and proceed from there.
How do you come up with such accounts?
Okay, for the data that we get, we deal with. When we prepare the data, we send the data to CBG, and they create these account numbers for all these depositors. So once they create an account number for you, it means you've been paid. Initially, when we started and we're paying the caps, these account numbers were virtual, but now these are account numbers that are real account numbers that they've created this time around.
She has been justifying why some may not be able to receive their messages by close of day on Tuesday. She advised customers to exercise patience as it continues with the process.
The text messaging, you know, we are all using gadgets, so there's likely some will drop, some may not go. What we do is that for the undelivered messages that we get at our end, at the end of the day, we recompile them and send again. We keep sending until for some reason, maybe due to wrong numbers, the messages don't go through. We look at that. So we get back to them through calls. Some I send emails if I can to them. But definitely you need to get an SMS to be able to get your money.
Meanwhile, some customers have confirmed receipt of text messages to indicate that their funds are ready for withdrawal.
Meanwhile, Joy Business checks at some of the branches of the Consolidated Bank Ghana in Accra indicates customers are yet to access their funds. Here's a Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the Coalition of Aggrieved Customers, Idrisi Barak.
On 24th, my team and I have gone around the. I'm head of the Greater Accra region, so we've gone around most of the CBG banks, and then the information on the ground is that the MD of the managing director for CBG is now trying to come out with the modalities, which are the procedures that are going to be involved in the payment, and these modalities included text messages that we are going to receive as affected depositors or customers. So we were like, if that is the case, the CBG director, they should have thought of this and then maybe start something earlier prior to even the president's promise, so that as the president stated emphatically that on Monday the payments will begin, so that at least text messages could have started coming on the 24th. But notwithstanding that, whatever happened has happened. So we haven't received any text message. From Monday, which is on the 24th, we have not received any text message. And we have a very large group of individuals which are affected customers. And we have some of them on the WhatsApp platforms. Some we have them on Telegram and other social media platforms. And we communicate a lot, because we have regional heads of the coalition for savings and loans customers who are affected. That's the CASLOC group. Yes, we have a very large unit and all regional heads of every region, 16 regions. So we communicate with them, and they have also been communicating with their own others within their region. And no show, honestly, no show, nothing is happening. So
it's live on Business Live. We're taking a short break here. We'll be right back with more stories. Thanks for staying. Welcome back. Acting Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Reverend Amishadai Usuamwa, says his outfit is ready to take advantage of the influx of multinationals in the country. He says the GRA is collaborating with the South African Revenue Agency and other international tax firms to ensure Ghana derives maximum income from operations of multinational firms. He spoke with Joy Business in an interview.
That will have built the capacity of our people. We expect that our revenues that we have expected from these multinationals are higher than we have anticipated in previously, because we will do a better job working with such experienced tax officers who are joining or teaming up with our tax officers to carry out the audits, and we'll be able to evaluate, and then so that subsequently when we are doing any further such. In fact, this is not the only one we will do. We are also talking to the South African Revenue Authority, and they also have very good experience in the mining sector. and therefore they will also be coming to partner with us in the same way to also do more of such areas. So we'll be doing a lot of these collaborations to build the capacity of our people.
But yes, it's only in the mining sector, the South Africans.
It's not only in the mining sector, but because there are a lot of mines in, and then you have the opportunity to interact with the multinationals in that area. So then when you go to that area, you will see that you get more exposure. So as we are picking the countries, we also have to look at the specific benefits that we'll get from the partnership with the country. We are keeping the momentum going, and we are not resting on our hours to make sure that come the year and before we start running. You will have noticed that already this week there have been some companies that have defaulted that we have had to do distress actions on. So the distress actions, some of which we did last quarter, are still being done in January and February. So it's something that we are keeping the momentum, and we want to make sure that we don't wait to the last minute before we bring in the revenue. Again, there are a lot of development projects that need to be undertaken, and we want to see the money being available for the government to be able to undertake these development projects, so that we don't wait to the last time. Again, we also know that as we go towards the end of the year, a lot of concentration comes on the elections, and therefore it's important that we work while the sun is shining rather than when it comes to the end of the year. We are a friendly organization, and therefore we encourage them to always come forward and let us talk and find ways of paying the tax. But if you default and we do all the talking and we still can't find a solution, then we have no alternative but to deploy the distress actions. So it is not what we wish to do, but we will not hesitate to do it if we need to.
And just before we go, President of Imani Africa, Franklin Kujo, a policy think tank, says the call for reduction in fuel prices at the pumps, despite the cedi's appreciation, is not feasible as the market is deregulated. In his view, consumers have options to choose from. According to Franklin Kujo, it is not automatic for prices to start going down over factors that are temporal.
Well, it's a deregulated market, and I suspect there are reasons why they are not doing so. I don't think there's only one price at the pump. Is there? I think Gold has reduced its prices, hasn't it? Well, I guess, again, it's a liberalized market, and I think people should take their options. There are other fuel stations that may be selling quite low. I'm not too sure. It's not so automatic at every point in time to be seeing these things pass through. But I'm sure at the right time, these things...
Company reducing it, people say it's too insignificant. 0.2% is insignificant, considering the stability of the city.
Well, then it should be more. You see, let me tell you one thing. The thing not to start jubilating about and start behaving like an Arabian prince is that the fact this appreciation is not going to last.
And on that note, we wrap up this edition of Business Live. Many thanks for watching. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji. For more business news, log on to myjoyonline.com/business.